We had Watergate, we had Russiagate, now we have Lemon Stinky Fingergate. What I find particularly ironic and hilarious about the prostitutes of fake stream media, specifically CNN, the counterfeit news network, or the communist news network, is that oftentimes we find that they are the very embodiment of the very things that they supposedly rail against. Case in point, Don Lemonhead. A new witness has come forward to substantiate what Dustin Hice has alleged, that Don Lemon sexually assaulted him. This new witness was the former boss of bartender Dustin Hice, and says he was there. He was right there in between Don Lemon and Dustin Hice when the whole incident happened. Now, just for clarifiers, this specific incident was alleged to have happened in July of 2018. But here's Don Lemonhead on CNN in September of 2018. Check out what he says.
Story about Brett Kavanaugh and alleged sexual abuse became the big story. There is no standard way survivors talk about sexual assault. It isn't always a police phone call and a rape kit or a report filed with HR. Sometimes they don't talk at all for years, even decades. Sometimes a little comes out in a conversation with a friend, a partner, or a doctor, and sometimes it comes out all at once. Why is it so hard to talk about? Well, part of it is fear, and part of it is doubt. Will I be believed? Will I be blamed? Will I have evidence? Do I have to relive what happened? Will everyone judge me? And if I speak out, will it even matter? In my life, it hasn't mattered if the person was 17 or 70. The pain and the damage are real, and it never goes away. So here's my message then and now and today. People aren't always who they present themselves to be in public.
Now, let me stop right here and remind everybody what Don Lemon is like when he's drunk and he knows that he's on national TV.
Every year, people think I'm like really wasted on TV. I'm actually not, tell the truth.
I mean,
I'm having a good time.
Say how many people who have, blacked out, drunk, or passed out ever done anything like that? Usually
very few. I don't think one goes along with the other.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. It's my first shot.
Where did that come from?
You want one?
No, not yet.
I do. Cheers, everybody.
They asked him about ralphing specifically, which really means vomiting or throwing up from too much alcohol. He said, I have a weak stomach for things like spaghetti and ketchup.
Let the good times roll, baby. Let the good times roll, baby.
He says this, and I'm quoting, "We're loud, obnoxious drunks with prolific pukers among us." His own words.
Confetti. I got confetti in my drink. Should old acquaintance be forgot?
There are serious questions tonight about the veracity of Brett Kavanaugh's claims about drinking under oath.
And I have to say, Kathy, nice rack. I didn't know you had all of that.
Thank you.
Up there.
Still patting him on.
Applaud you for that.
Put it away.
How much he drank and how regularly, and whether he could have had blackouts from his drinking.
The last time I was at Tipatina was when I was in college, and I ended up going home with not a lot of clothes on.
If you set yourself up to be a choir boy, there damn well better be evidence that you are a choir boy.
You better be able to sing.
Better be able.
It's awesome. I found love.
You did fall in love.
On a two-way street.
Hey everyone, it's the jazz band, the Shotgun Jazz Band.
And lost it on a lonely highway. How is
I'm
that?
sorry.
You.
I mean, you had a shot of tequila. That was not water. And there may have been a little bit here and there, but no. I would say drunk Don Lemon is buzzed Don Lemon.
Because maybe you were drunk that night, like she says, and then you wouldn't remember. He didn't want to give him that.
So happy to
I'm
be
feeling
back.
the love. Oh, yeah. We'll see you
we
guys.
can't wait for the wedding.
Wedding bells.
I know. I got that bubbly. I got that bubbly. You haven't seen that?
My balls are bigger than your balls.
Probably.
This is what happens when a lot of tequila happens.
Griffin, what do you think?
You was like a confessional a year ago. You were like, I'm ready for a relationship. 2016 was the worst. It's okay.
I love you, baby.
Okay, that's enough of that. Now, if that's how Don Lemon acts when he's drinking, when he knows he's on camera, what exactly does he do when the cameras aren't rolling? Now, here's Don trying to convince you that we need to actually hear victims out and investigate to see whether what they're saying is true or not.
So 2 women have come forward with allegations against Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh. Both allege deeds that they say happened decades ago. He insists that they didn't happen at all. I don't know what happened. I don't. But we need to hear them out and have an honest investigation into whether there is truth to their stories.
Now, CNN has staunchly denied that Don Lemon had any part in this situation. But think about it. If this is true, if it's true that Don Lemon really stuck his hands down his board shorts and rubbed his genitals and flicked his fingers up and down Dustin's nose, as the new witness alleges, then according to CNN and Don Lemon, based on what you just saw, you got to believe the victim.
But we need to hear them out and have an honest investigation into whether there is truth to their stories.
This is the Me Too era, right? This is the Me Too generation. So Don Lemon and CNN have to follow their own words, right? And investigate this to the fullest.
And have an honest investigation into whether there is truth to their stories.
And believe the victim. Believe the alleged victim, Dustin Hice. Are you going to do that, CNN? No. But you know, if this was, let's say this was a Fox, let's say this was, the allegations were against Tucker Carlson. Don't you think Don Lemon and Fredo would be up there talking about what Tucker Carlson is alleged to have done? CNN won't even cover this as news. They won't even say there's a witness that's come forward stating that one of our employees, one of our CNN employees, has allegedly sexually assaulted someone. They won't even investigate that. You won't see that on CNN.com. But you would have seen it on CNN.com if it was Tucker Carlson. How come is that? Because CNN would have believed the victims if Tucker Carlson was involved, right? You better believe it. You better believe it. So this is another case where they're not willing to take any measure of a dose of their own medicine. Nope, they won't do it. Why? Because they don't truly believe it. They don't believe the Me Too movement applies to them. They don't believe that you should believe the victim if it's one of their guys that was accused. They don't believe that. That's how they operate. They operate in hypocrisy and darkness, and that's why they're rightly called prostitutes, and that's why they're rightly called fake stream media. Now, this witness says that this was a known incident in the Hamptons to such an extent that when they went out drinking, all the bartenders ribbed Dustin Hice and offered him a lemon shot. Everybody in the Hamptons knew it. This wasn't something that was done in darkness. This wasn't something that was that nobody knew about. This was an event that a whole lot of people knew about, to the extent where this guy just could not live this down. All the bartenders in the area, according to Dustin Hice's former boss, knew about this. So what about it, Don? What about it, Don Lemonhead? What about it, Fredo Cuomo? What about it? Are you guys going to investigate this?
And have an honest investigation into whether there is truth to their stories.
Are you going to believe the victim, or are you going to play the hypocrite? If you guys enjoy these videos, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification icon, give them a thumbs up, share them with everybody you know. And if you want to support this channel, the Patreon, PayPal, Bitcoin, and Subscribe Star links are in the description below. I'll see you guys in the next heavily censored shadow ban video. Oh, and I forgot, hashtag I believe Dustin.